Previously on Survivor Branford. Almost halfway through the game, the former Tyler tribe had remained fully intact because of their numerous challenge successes and the ability to band together as one in the face of common enemies, despite some inner turmoil. Once Steven was voted out, many members of the former Tyler assumed that Tim would be up next, now without a hidden immunity idol, in order to keep their 7 strong. Danny was the first to speak of a new direction, targeting his former ally Michelle, but those thoughts were quickly shut down by his tribe mates. After winning immunity, Danny was emboldened and continued to push his idea of voting out Michelle to the rest of the tribe, and the thought was gradually accepted. As the only 2 left out of the plan, Michelle and Haley remained under the assumption of 7 strong, and pushed ahead to vote Tim out. Ironically, it was Michelle's former biggest adversary, Pat, who was most vocal against the idea of voting her out, and the whole plan hung in the balance as there was major concern in the air that he'd inform her of the plot, and she'd use her hidden immunity idol to stop it in its tracks. In the moment of truth, Pat rode with the majority, and Michelle remained in the dark, becoming the first returning player to exit the game, leaving Haley seemingly alone, but now in the possession of the idol that only she and Michelle had known about. 8 are left. Who will be voted out tonight?
Was not expecting that vote to go that way. I don't know. Everything I heard was not that. You have a media idol. If I feel people are lying to me, I'm definitely gonna end up playing it, but I don't know when that happens.
I knew you guys were voting for me and Tim because neither of you were saying anything.
I told you I was going to vote for Tim.
I know.
I did. I told you with that.
I know.
I don't know how I feel about Danny now because I thought I could trust him more. I know I lied directly to your face because I said I was voting for Tim and I clearly did not. It's okay. Everybody's like, oh, we're just going to do what Danny says. And I was like, okay. Yeah. I felt really bad about the Michelle vote. She's definitely somebody that I wanted to work with. It just, like, it didn't work out. Like, I already had good connections and I felt well aligned with Dennis and Brandon. I wanted to work with her. I just couldn't, like, fit it into, like, the path forward.
Yeah, I mean, we probably the ones who kind of called the shot. That was just the message from Danny that I think they should do.
But I would have gone along with you guys.
What was expected occurred. Mission accomplished, I guess. This is a tough game, and I feel like last time I didn't get to the really hard part, and now we have to do that. But man, that sucked.
I'm sorry that Brandon couldn't hold strong, but
Either it happens tonight or tomorrow morning, so yeah. I'm not mad at you. I just was completely not, I didn't know anything about that vote. So.
I had to do it.
I
So
know.
the thing is, I was
and if I would have
leaning
known
to
that, I would have totally swung on board with you guys.
I wasn't sure if you were gonna say something. Michelle, I was the most afraid of, and someone threw her name out there, and I was like,
Let's go with it now.
I'll go with it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I didn't get you into
No, it's
the
okay.
loop.
It's okay. When I went in with him, I was like, not mad at you, I guess. I'm not mad. But I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed.
Disappointed.
Yeah, just disappointed.
The worst.
Thought we were closer than that, but whatever.
Everything went exactly as I had planned. I'm excited that I have a good pulse of where everyone stands. I feel terrible though. Michelle seemed really blindsided. That's how the game goes, and wishing her the best. She was just too strong to keep around.
Like, you guys were hurting after voting out Michelle. Like, you guys were definitely upset about it, and so it's like,
Yeah.
he kind of did you a little dirty.
Quick swing there.
That was, I mean,
did not know.
it took a lot of commitment.
Yeah, I agree.
In my 9 years playing, that was the hardest and worst feeling vote I've done the whole time. I came into this, Michelle, thinking I would have trouble trusting you because I think you wouldn't trust me, but we actually, I think, had very genuine conversations. Here you say, tribal, you trusted me. I was like feeling sick to my stomach during that. I don't know if that was even really a good move for my game, but I felt like that's where the numbers were, and I had to vote for you. I just hope that, Michelle, you can forgive me and that this doesn't kind of come in between us.
All right, so we all feel bad, but we have to continue with the game.
Sorry. Pick up the pieces, yeah.
So it's always like, but Tim has done super long challenges, and he had that big idol advantage. I feel like I don't think we want to keep like too far.
I'm a little hesitant about working super long with Tim because he just had that big move. I'm hoping kind of pivot back and forth between a bit of a flip, but then working with maybe reverting back to some of the original people I started with a little later on.
I feel like Tim and Danny are probably the biggest two threats in my mind. Danny might not see it coming now, it would be harder. I think we could kind of easily get out.
Yeah.
Tim.
Maybe it's a good time to get out Danny now, because Haley's like, I think Haley's pissed at him.
I don't know if I'm gonna let Tim get farther because he is a threat. And you have to think of it this way, when they get to the jury, if they make it that far, they have all the people in the jury.
Yeah. I want to vote with the house. One of them's got to go, and I think he's the way to pick because he's got that really nice idol play.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
That was a crazy vote.
I mean, it went the way I told you it was going to, right?
Yeah.
I told you, I'm a man of my word.
I feel really good about
Our
the
crew,
group we have. Yes.
yeah. It's like you and me, Tim, me, Dennis, Sarah, and Brandon.
So who's next?
We have the juice. That brings it down to Haley or Pat. Haley's a good challenger. Pat throws a lot of wild cards.
Do we want to go flip back on Tim and Tasha, or like do we just go with Haley?
I think we just go with easy Haley vote.
Yeah, I think that's what we're doing.
Easy vote. Like, let's just get tomorrow.
We could tell Haley we want to go with
Tim.
Tim. Cool, I trust you guys.
Yeah.
I'm glad that I'm not a target yet. I haven't heard I'm a target. My alliance of 3 is stronger than ever. Maybe we pick off Haley.
And Tim is cool, like, I'm just gonna say it, like,
Yeah.
you know, like, obviously, like, I think it is difficult to let him get to the end, you know? But, like, I'd rather play to the second day with him than with Danny. It's gotta be a blindside, that's the only way that'll work.
Okay.
But yeah, honestly, I feel like I'll be able to, like, breathe better when
I'm getting pretty manic here, but it's a good mania because we might get out Big Bad Danny. I'm down to send him home. Nobody liked that move. Nobody. You saw kind of how things played out that time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Super glad you guys kept us around. Thank you for that.
It's right where I said we were before.
Yep.
That though went pretty well.
I told you, like, once we got down to 9, things would open up.
Yeah.
It was the time to make the move.
Mhm.
They didn't jump on it.
Yeah.
You had to make the move. When you got down to 9, you have to make that move.
Yeah.
Are you guys okay with the alliance that we're forming right now?
Absolutely. Like,
yes.
It leaves Pat and Haley.
Yeah.
At this point in the game, I'm trying to think of who's a bigger threat. Haley, like last year, she won a lot of challenges in the second half.
So she could go on a run,
really
and
good.
then we can't get her out.
Yeah, I feel like that would be the smarter move than Pat. The 6 of us will be down to the final 6. I'm just gonna figure it out then, right?
Yes.
Everything up until this point, Tim and I have been working together trying to get ourselves out of the bottom and get into a power play, and at this point it's all about numbers. I don't like how tight Danny, Sarah, Dennis, and Brandon are, because they say we're an alliance of 6, but me and Tim are the bottom of that 6. I'm thinking about you. We're in a group of 6.
Yeah.
I think the 2 people on the outs are Haley and Pat. If we get one of them out, then it's a power group of 6 where we're the bottom 2. Like, those 4 are gonna stay together.
Yeah.
If we topple Danny, then at least, like, Pat and Haley are also kind of on the outs.
It would be with us.
And that just feels like it's less of a block, because I don't think Haley's super attached, I don't think Pat's super attached, but Danny's like firmly with those guys. So if we get him out, I think it's better for us.
He pissed off so many people that last vote because he took charge hard of getting out Michelle. And people loved Michelle. Like, Dennis was legitimately upset. I think that rubbed people the wrong way. You don't take charge just because you have individual immunity. He's playing, you're doing too much.
Our names are just always going to be on the chopping block now.
Yeah, I
This
know.
is what it's like playing from the bottom. Do you think Haley or Pat would be better for you?
Keeping them? Or getting rid of them?
Getting rid of them.
I don't think so.
Okay.
So if we get a Danny, will Dennis, Sarah, Brandon be okay with that?
Me and Tim are kind of on our own.
Yeah.
I don't want another girl out.
No.
Like, we
No,
can't
seriously.
be down to 2 girls. And, like, I just feel like they were, like, too rock solid. And I feel like we seem to, like, flow. Maybe we can make something happen. Because suddenly we're down to 7. You need 10. Like, that's, like, a really good 3.
Yeah.
I think Danny has his own plans. And
Yeah.
I think the only person who knows his master plan is Danny at this point.
No one knows if I can really trust Danny, and like,
Yeah.
I feel like he always kind of spearheading some of that. And does he have an idol?
I think it's Danny. I don't know. Somebody has to have found it. No, I don't have the idol.
Okay.
Been able to help kind of point the tribe over to Danny being a big threat. He, in a lot of ways, kind of called that shot around the Michelle vote. I'm at least somewhat confident still that he has an idol.
Yeah, I would think it was
it's
going
not-
with Danny. If you guys are and you're not like lying to me.
We need to make
rope,
Danny
like-
feel very comfortable then if we are going for Danny.
Dan, you're first. 1 bounce.
Nice.
All right, that's a perfect round. Dan, we'll start with you. 2 bounces.
Okay.
That's 1 point for Danny.
Nice.
Wow. All right, 1 point for Danny, and everyone else still with a perfect 0. All right, round 3, 3 bounces. So we're going to start with the player in last place. So Danny,
Cool.
3 bounces. 1 point for Danny, so 2 points overall. 1 point for Pat.
Wow. Bro.
Nice.
Ooh,
Oh, 2 points for Tasha.
This is a game.
All right, we're up to round 4, 4 bounces now. So, Danny. Okay, so now we'll have Tasha go since she also has 2.
Oh, God.
All right, that's 5 points for Tasha. That's the maximum. Okay, Pat, you're up.
4 bounces, right?
Yes. No. Straight.
Straight? Oh, my bad, Okay.
1 point, and now Sarah can go. Two more points for Sarah, and now we'll have Brandon start with the 0 point people.
You got it.
One point for Dennis, and 2 points for Haley. Okay, so Tasha, you're up first. This is a 5 bounce round.
Alright. Here we go.
All right, 1 point for Tasha.
That is my last one.
5 bounces, okay.
5 points for Pat and Haley. 2 points. And now we'll have Tim go. 5 bounces. 1 point. Dennis. Dennis and Brandon still sitting on 0.
Good job, Brandon.
1 point for Brandon. Okay, Tasha, 6 bounces.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, 1 point for Tasha. Pat.
There we go, let's get 6.
Yes.
I don't think it's gonna help it out. 1 point.
So close.
I can't get past that first one.
Alright, 3 points for Haley. Tim.
You were,
Dennis. 3 points for Dennis. Okay, so Brandon, as long as you get 1 or 0 points, you win this challenge. 6 bounces.
Good job, Brandon.
Seriously, so good.
Alright, Brandon, come on over. For the second time this season, individual immunity is yours. You are now guaranteed a spot in the final 7 of this game. You're into day 2. As for the rest of you, one of you will become the next member voted out of Survivor Branford.
You got the power. Where do you think the votes are going?
I don't have any power.
I think we're.
You have an immunity necklace.
I have the immunity, but I definitely am not I'm not calling the shots at
Do you
all.
want to call the shots? Because there's someone you want out?
No, I don't want to call the shot. Honestly, I don't want that
No, that's
responsibility.
fair.
I guess
That's
that's
fair.
fair.
I'm a moron. I'm so stupid. I just lost. So I've won 2 out of 3. I came to the finals for the other immunity challenge. I have confidence in my triangle, but I think the triangle only works when everyone feels like they can beat each other. I feel like I'm kind of racking up a few too many wins here. I probably should have threw that one. That was stupid. Also got the night I think I'm gonna be out tomorrow. That was dumb. That was so dumb.
Haley as an option. And then I've also heard people were upset at Danny for like taking a really big charge of that vote. I wouldn't be surprised if at least one of our names is out, just as also
I'm just
possible.
always expecting it now.
Yeah, I think it's Haley.
It's
That's
Haley.
But
That's what I said at the beginning, right?
Yeah.
Does she know?
I mean, I think she thinks she's getting votes, but I don't know who she's. I don't think she knows she's going home. I'm curious what she thinks is the real vote. Maybe me.
It seems like everything's going to plan, so I think we're good. There's a slight chance that Haley might have an idol or something.
Oh, really?
Because she found a clue at the beginning of the game, but we don't think she has an idol.
I think the vote is off me, which is always a good thing. We love that. I think the vote is going towards Haley. I could be getting played right now. I talked to him a couple minutes ago. He's like, I think he is thoroughly convinced it's all on Haley.
Yes.
Funny.
Yes.
We're going Haley. Oh, Haley. Yeah, we're getting rid of Haley this round. And then we gotta get rid of that. And then we're gonna get rid of other groups. Haley thinks Tim is arguing over in that conversation.
That's exactly what we want. Haley's probably like the biggest challenger. She's the biggest challenger, right? I feel like that we need to get rid of.
So if we can thinks he has an idol.
I don't think she ever got the idol. I think that's our best route. I think this will work.
I know he's talking with Danny, and Danny like thinks it's her.
Michelle got kicked off the game. Thankfully, she ended up giving me the idol, so I have that to use now. Hoping that I don't have to use it this round. I can save it until the game tomorrow if I need it. So I'm very glad that she was able to give me that, so I have to use if I need to.
$1,000,000,000% I vote Danny. Okay. We're all good. Danny thinks it's you.
Okay.
I honestly don't think she'll survive.
Everyone seems down for it.
So I think things are shaping up exactly as I want them to. People already think that I'm leading this thing, and I don't think I want to be seen that way. I think I'm safe for the next round or two, but I think I can get through this round though.
I just talked to Danny, and he was basically like, we're still core, like, we're good. So he was making me feel comfortable. I feel like he's down to vote. I'm fine. If that's the way you guys want to go.
I've heard 2 names get thrown out. Yep. Okay. I think we know what the 2 names are. I don't think we need to talk about which of the 2 we're going with, do we?
Which one are you going with?
I'm voting with the house.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which is?
You don't know?
That's really, he keeps everything very close to the vest, and I can tell it's like super intentional. He's like, I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah, and he's like, I'm not going to make waves.
Yeah.
3 of us are super tight. That's huge.
Yeah.
We will drive the game, and we can just sneakily do it. Excellent. Yeah. Cool.
I'm feeling like really good about my position in the game right now. I feel the vote right now is going to come down to Haley or Danny. I've heard 2 names, so which of the 2 do you prefer?
I would rather get Danny out.
Danny, he has this like path laid out to the end, and I don't really know where he stands with like who he would choose like after we got down to that. And I'm still feeling, as I have the whole game, solid 100% with Dennis and Brandon.
Danny said Haley.
No, Haley's saying Danny.
Okay, so who do we want to go for?
I mean, Danny like called that shot. I feel like he has an idol. I don't know.
He wouldn't be expecting it. He thinks he's tight with us.
He thinks he's running things.
Yes, he does.
Our main one, you can like go for Danny, make that move. Haley was left out of that vote, so it could be kind of an easy one to like. She was kind of already on the outs. I mean,
After this vote, will it be too late to get Danny? No.
No,
Because 4
we
would
just
still
still
be a
listening to
majority,
4.
even if it's just us.
Yeah.
Final 8, this is the last tribal council of day 1 of Survivor Branford. Sarah, how do you navigate at this stage of the game, knowing if you survive this vote, you get a whole night now to rest, relax, think about your next move? How do you make it through just this one last vote?
I don't even know how I made it this far. My brain is just like spinning at this point. Just so many conversations throughout the day. And even when you're not in a conversation, you're just thinking about every conversation that you've had and that you're going to have. And I'm just really looking forward to sleeping.
Brandon, let's take a step back to the last vote. So finally, a member of the Tyler tribe was voted out with Michelle leaving the game, and apparently most of you were in on that plan. Could you describe the logistics of that, why that was the right time for the vote to be on Michelle?
It's tough for me to give the full rationale. It wasn't my idea. It came to a point where we realized that, okay, if all 7 Tylers make it to the final 7, what does that look like? How does that shake out? And I think there was a sense within us that nobody knew, and that's scary. I think maybe the easy thing in that moment was to try and get some allies from outside, from the 2 people that were more willing than anyone to just vote for whoever.
Tasha, was that the first move of many great moves to come for you, or is that more of a one-off and you're kind of feeling back to the situation you had been in?
I don't think Tim or I will ever feel comfortable sitting in like this large group of people. What I do feel like is different is now people are talking about it as the tribe and including Tim and I in the tribe now that we've gone through a vote together. Last tribal, it was very much like those 7 and us split out. So I feel good that it seems like we're coming together a bit more as a tribe.
Tim, has that been your recent experience as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we had no chance coming into this merge, and quite frankly, it's understandable. I mean, we're such a small minority. There's 70 who've been together the whole game, but now we actually are part of the tribe, which it feels good.
Danny, is there any kind of danger to letting the underdog hang around in this game? Maybe try to get out other people, and then, whoa, all of a sudden, Final 5, and Tim and Tasha are still here, and huge jury threats all of a sudden.
I mean, yeah, I think they're good challengers. I've seen them now for a few times out there for individual immunity. I've learned from this game that you really can't understand what's going on
until the vote happens. And they're good players, and I can't just say, oh, well, there's just 2 of them, and they're obviously going to leave. We'll see what happens.
Haley, do you view Tim and Tasha as potential allies for you going forward in this game?
Yeah, of course. I think getting to talk to them more and now knowing more of how they play the game, I've probably built more bonds with them and talked to them and saw where their heads are at.
Dennis, do you feel that any 1 or 2 people are very concerned at this point that it could be them?
I can't speak for everyone. I mean, I think there are concerns that are out there. I don't know if it'll be a massive blindside, but like I think I would expect the person will probably think there's a good chance we have it making it through, and they don't. It could be me. It could be anyone here.
Well, it can't be Brandon. Brandon, did you feel like you needed that immunity win, or does it embolden you to perhaps make bigger moves at this point in the game?
No, I don't feel emboldened. I feel like everyone else. I feel like people I've worked with are people I want to continue to work with, and I hope that stays true.
Is there anything we would like to conclude by saying in this tribal council before we go and do the vote? Haley, you're up first.
I hope to God that I'm not being blindsided right now because I don't plan on playing the idol.
I'm pretty confident that everything is going as I think it would be.
I really enjoyed playing with you. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
I feel bad about this, but I think it's what I got to do to get farther in the game.
If anyone has a hidden immunity idol and would like to play it, now would be the time to do so. Once the votes are read, the decision is final. The person voted out will be asked to leave the tribal council area immediately. I'll read the votes. First vote. Haley. Danny. 1 vote Danny, 1 vote Haley. Danny. 2 votes Danny, 1 vote Haley. Danny. 3 votes Danny, 1 vote Haley. Danny. 4 votes Danny, 1 vote Haley. 7th person voted out of Survivor Branford, Danny. Danny, you'll grab your torch.
I wasn't really expecting that, but I probably should have. I made a bit too much noise. I had to keep it a little low-key, but I tried to play my cards early and really try to form a group that probably wasn't solid enough at the time. It seemed to backfire on me. I feel like the people from the other tribe that merged in didn't really trust me from the get-go, and that's probably what ended up biting me in the behind, so whatever, it is what it is. I had a fun time.